This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Coming from the 606 Media Studios, this is the TCSF podcast with Big Z. This week we got Stevie B and hopefully some more guests coming in later on. But this is episode 209, brought to you by 606 Media, True Chicago sports fans. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirt. Search for keyword True Chicago and use our promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. That is TrueFan15. Go and get your shirts now. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or X, hit that subscribe button. And if you're on your favorite podcast app, remember to give us a 5-star review. Leave us some kind words. What are you supposed to do, Steven?
Smash and subscribe.
There you go. Remember, you can support the show with a monthly subscription at anchor.fm/True Chicago Sports Fans. Go over there and click on support, and you can subscribe for as little as 99 cents a month. So we have a bunch of shows on the network with the 606 Media lineup. We got the No Water on the Weekend with Stevie B and Sean.
We do. We have a great episode.
We could talk about that in a little bit. Podcast with Big Z. I will be editing the last episode with Johnny Vitti and dropping it tonight, hopefully, right after this. And we have our other show with Ivan. There he is, Ivan the Bear.
Let me bring my mic in. Hold on a second.
There it is.
There we go. All right. Now we're good. We're ready. We're ready now. Here we go.
You could catch all our shows. And Ivan does a bunch of Bears content with TTNL. We usually work when we will always share it on 606 Media because we're friends with them and we like those people over there at TTNL and they're nice to us. So if you want to see Ivan talk about Bears all week, you can always catch him on TTNL on their page and on his page. And it's also on 606, so you can never miss it. So I'll get all your Bears news. So without further delay, episode 209 cut day. This live episode, we're going to talk about the White Sox reaching 100, a milestone, not in a good way. Second fastest to do so. Not the stuff we want to be hearing. The Cubs winning series, but stuck in the mud in the race, in the wild card race. Playoff chances might be over. I don't know. We'll see how they're doing this week. And then recap on Hard Knocks episode 3, which was not delayed, thank God. And the Bears make some news and moves and cuts. And we'll close out with what you're watching. But do you want to get you want to go straight to Bears? Or you want to go to the baseball?
Let's rip the Band-Aid off on baseball.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
with
let's
Steven.
rip that off.
I agree.
Let's
rip off the Band-Aid with baseball.
Yeah, save the best for last. So save the good stuff.
Anyway.
It's gonna be quick anyway.
It's gonna be quick.
All right, let's start out with the North Stars and Chicago Cubs. 10.5 game out of the Central, 5.5 out of the wild card. So far, we know where they're at. We know who they are. They're 500 ball club. We've got some moves. One of your boys, David Bodie, has been DFA'd.
Yes, he has.
Something that we expected, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, I think I knew someone was gonna, get the cut, and great memories with the guy, but not so many as of late. But I will say this right now: silver lining, grand slam by Dansby, so up 11-2, so that's great.
Oh, awesome!
This is what we needed. A little disappointed that we did not bring out the brooms for the Marlins series, because that would have been amazing to have, because you need a sweep. Okay, you need get some sweeps, get the duster buster out, do what you need to do. But we had a chance for the sweep. Now, mathematically, we're not eliminated. Okay, no. It's not like, hey, we're done, we're just gonna play. But they keep staying in the same position, like you said, Big Z, 500 club. And the problem with the wild card is there's too many teams you have to climb to get up into that third spot. And that's the problem. You're in a hole, a dark, wet, gloomy hole that it's raining all the time, and you have to climb up. Okay. It looks on paper, it's like, hey, there's only 3 teams that are ahead of us in the wild card. 3 teams. But, That's a lot of variables. Anything could happen in baseball. And we've seen it before, but we got the Pirates tonight and we got to sweep them. We could do that because I feel like Cincinnati and the Pirates just kind of gave up, you know? And also the St. Louis Cardinals look like another Cubs team, 500, right? So it's going to be interesting if any of these teams get in there besides the Brewers. So I don't know. Ivan, what's your take?
It's done. It's done. I
was expecting something different, but okay.
No. You know what's that saying? Abandon all hope, ye who enter Wrigley Field, because that is how I feel about this Cubs team. They're still the same, even though they're doing better. They're beating teams that they fucking should be beating and winning series that they should be winning. This should have happened in May. This should have happened in June. This didn't, and now we're in that wet, gloomy, moist, disgusting hole that, that we can't seem to dig ourselves out of. And there's teams that I'll just flat out say are playing better and have better talent on the roster. I'm not saying that the Cubs don't have good talent or they don't have talent coming up, for the minors eventually, but it's hard to put the Cubs ahead of anybody that is ahead of them right now. Like I'm looking at I'm like, okay, either they're even with the Cubs, right? Or they're better. They're just a better team. And I just don't see this team playing above 500 baseball. The above 500, they literally have to win out. Do you remember how the Rockies got into the postseason when they made their World Series run? They had to win 20 something fucking games. 20 something games in a row to make their postseason run. And I just don't see any type of run like that with the Cubs, no matter what the bullpen's pitching better, now the fucking hitting is inconsistent. It's just, you don't have everything working at once. And that's the issue.
I mean, I was just going to blame JC because he puts ketchup on his hot dogs, and he did it when he went last week. And,
Son of a gun. Oh my God!
Of putting ketchup on the thing and dipping his hot dog in ketchup after all the trimming. So we're gonna blame JC for the Cubs' woes. I know he was happy because Javi struck out like 5,000 times against the Cubs, but he does that against every team, so it wasn't anything different. The Cubs have a bad situation gone worse, where you have no one in protection of your big bopper. You don't have a big bopper. You don't have anybody that's feared on your lineup, right? Then your pitching's great and your hitting's bad. Then it's vice versa. And you are winning games, but you're not winning series. You should remember, this is supposed to be the easy part of your schedule. Guess what? They have the same record you do. If you looked at this objectively and you looked at a team that's 2 to 3 games under 500, you're like, they're not making the playoffs. You look at the Pirates. Okay, they're not going to make the playoffs. Okay, you look at Marlins. They're not going to make the playoffs because of their record. Just because it's the Cubs, everyone has this disbelief that they're going to miraculously come from the dead and start hitting.
That's me.
That is you. That is you. Yes. I don't understand how you're so optimistic about the Cubs, but about everything else.
I'm optimistic because my life is a dark, gloomy hole of wet decay. I need something to believe in until football starts, but I choose not to, do that stuff. And I like to keep my eye on the prize with the Cubs. Again, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying there's a chance. Oh, so you're saying there's a chance. I'm going to be a little bit more optimistic here. I want to keep my faith and keep it realistic. I know I could be off tangent sometimes and get some bets right and get some bets wrong. Definitely. But I'm just saying, I think there's a chance to get close. I would like to see us at least end the year 4 games above 500. Give me that. That's something that I could say, not unrealistic. That could happen. I would like that to happen.
That's very attainable.
Right. It's not like, hey, they're going to be 10 or 15 or 20 games over 500. That's not the case.
You've got to jump the Cardinals, the Cardinals, the Mets, the Braves. I forgot the other team, just to get in. And even with the Braves being hurt, they still have great pitching, even though they're down three guys that hit the ball very well and could have been MVP candidates. they still can pitch their ass off. They have Chris Sale and everyone else on that team that can still, on paper, is still better than the Cubs team right now. So that's what you're looking at. You're looking at a stretch where you should be dominating, so that way you can keep up. But I don't see these other teams falling off.
Nope.
Yeah. Again, it's gonna be a good stretch, but again, I realistically I would like him to just go more, like, again, 4 games above 500, at least be that. I don't want to be like 6 games under. So
again, your easy stretch ends with the Pirates, because then you have the Yankees coming to town, and then you're playing the Dodgers.
Oh,
So
I got to go to that game. I got to go to one of those. No, the Yankees. The Yankees.
Yankees here is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm sorry. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm sorry. And then they go to the Dodgers, they go to the Rockies, they go to the A's, who actually been playing pretty decent, Nationals, Phillies, and then the Reds. The season is pretty much over. You get swept by one of these series, it's over. You get swept by the Yankees, put a fork in it.
You have to win out. You basically have to win out.
Yes.
Yeah. But if you're a Andrew Santino fan, he will be throwing the first pitch on Friday for the Yankees series.
Who's that?
He's a comedian. He's yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to plug his pod, but if you know, you know.
Okay.
So.
All right. Some highlights. PCA with the Little League home run. I thought that was amazing. It showed
great.
his skills.
That was
He was super fast. What do you go, around 14 seconds or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
So he's starting to heat up and starting to put the bat on the ball and actually showing some promise, because he was very highly touted, and he's actually showing out. Another guy who's been surprising is Amaya, your catcher that was supposed to be your savior coming out of the minor leagues, has actually been hitting over 300 in the last month. Okay, that's great. That's a good push till next year.
Well said.
But here we go.
Yeah.
Wait till next year, right? That's where you're at right now. You got Cam Smith, who you just drafted, 6 straight games with a home run. Bring that kid up next year. Bring him up. What do you got to lose?
Pretty much nothing at this point. I don't know what you're going to do in the offseason. You're definitely going to lose.
They're not going to do
Cody Bellinger.
No, Cody's gonna opt in because he's having a bad year. And you already went over the salary cap. And that's what me and JC talked about last year. If you're going to go over the salary cap or the CBA, whatever they call it in baseball, if you go over it, there's a tax. If you go over again, then it's like a penalty tax. So it goes to 25% or whatever, 35%. Even if you go over by $1 the first time. So if you're going to go over, go spend some money. Go balls to the wall. Get yourself a good team to be in contention. And they didn't do that. And now they're not going to go into penalties for the second time next year. So you're going to see a lot of people get cut. A lot of these salaries are going to be traded.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see guys get moved and them starting to move guys up, which I thought should have happened this year. You know, they should have tried to move younger guys up a little sooner, and like not rush them, but let's go see more of these young guys. Bring up a Shaw. Bring up some of these younger guys that you are holding on to so dearly to. You know, I don't know why. I don't know why that's not the case this season. It's like you barely, like PCA. Yeah, I guess you could say that he was. You know, he got sent down, but he's not. PCA should be an everyday player now, and he is. To me, he is. But looking at last season, how it ended, and then looking at this season, and even if they did go on a run here, like a nice little run to end the season, still the same results. You still have the same results, and that's not going to fly. That's where I like what you said. You're trapped in the next year. You're trapped in the next year type of mentality when it's like, hey, maybe you should take some action. You know, I understand you want to be patient. If you're Jed Hoyer, you don't want to be, act like you're desperate and start doing crazy things, but a little more than what we saw. Like honestly, a little more than what we saw, because Cubs fans from the beginning were like, well, now I would say probably from like June, July, we're like, something's got to be done. Like, what is the move going to be? Where are we going with this? Are we just eating this year right now because, you want to make the move next year? How do I trust that you're going to make a move next year? You know what I mean? Like now we're talking about moving salaries, and I do believe some salaries need to be cut, but where are we headed? Where are we going? Are you just there to sell tickets again? Are you trying to win the World Series? That's kind of where I'm at with the Cubs. Like, where are we headed?
It really does feel like they're just selling tickets and false hope. Obviously this year didn't work out, right? Your hitters didn't do well. You got the manager that was supposed to get you 10 or 15 more wins because he's such a good manager. He was going to make a big difference. I know that I'm going to talk about that in a second. We're looking at a manager that was supposed to make a difference. 40 million, right? Mm-hmm. This guy was supposed to take you to the promised land because the previous manager couldn't cut it. And essentially you have a new manager who said, I've got the same BS that the previous manager had, that no bullpen, no big bat, very inconsistent. You're not moving the kids up. We got a couple of bums with one leg playing at third, and then they finally address it. Mm-hmm. It's like, what are we doing here? And if you look at the free agents that are going to be coming out next year available, those are some big dollar free agents. Your Juan Soto's and the big pitchers that are be commanding 40 million above. You're not shopping top tier. You're shopping that middle to lower tier. And there's not a lot of good prospects as far as talent there.
Well, we got to remember also there's probably going to be some type of a strike on the horizon with how crazy some of these salaries are going. Especially how you saw this past year where nobody was signing anybody to these giant contracts. Like that was a message. That was a clear message sent to the agents and the players. Like these owners are going to start pushing back because you're giving money. And I hate to get off, topic a little bit, but you're giving money to some of these guys off of either what you did last season, and then they ended up falling off because some of these guys are like, boom, they have 1 year, and you think that they may be that dude, and then you end up investing ridiculous amounts of money because they have the leverage because you want that arm or you want that bat, and now you're just as a agent, you can just sit back and just call your number, and it's hard to get out of some of these contracts too. It's very difficult, so it's like I could see how ownership is going to push back with some of this. So for me, are the Ricketts doing that? Are the Ricketts pulling like a Jerry, if you will? You know what I'm talking about, Jose? Like, is that what's going on? Like, that's kind of my question to it.
I really do believe the owners, they put some of the cards on the table and said, this is not allowed. This is not going to be allowed. There's no way we're going to be paying a third of our franchise worth to one player. 500, 600 million. If my team is worth, 1, 2, or 3 billion, that's insane. That is insane to be paying that much money for a guy to be playing baseball. And there's going to be a strike, and there's going to be a salary cap. There's going to be a minimum cap and a salary cap. And if you go over your salary cap, you're going to get taxed at 35% the first time, 50% tax the next time. They're really going to enforce that so that these salaries can stay in check. And in a way, I'm all for it. Do you really want to? Is it really feasible for one guy to take 80% of your salary cap? No.
It also protects from teams like the Dodgers or like the Yankees that have the money to go ahead and say, hey, I'll give you $1 billion. You want $1 billion to play for the Dodgers? We can do that. How are you going to compete? How can anybody else compete with a big market team like the Dodgers, the Yankees, who have money to just blow easy? Like, here's $1 billion. Come play for us, the next great superstar, wherever you may be.
I mean, in doing that, also low-income teams, Kansas City Royals, Tampa Bay, like you just have them just there,
But they don't complain because it's shared revenue.
Right.
So, that's why they don't complain. That's why the Pirates have been doing this forever, and Tampa Bay or the Marlins, where they build up a team, and then the next year after they compete in their playoffs or the World Series, they blow it all up because there's more money for them in losing than there is in winning. And there has to be an incentive for winning, and that's why they changed the draft order. And it's just so happened to fuck the White Sox this year because they're losing 100 games this year, and now they're going to pick 10th or something. And they're going to lose another 100 games next year, and they'll be picking, in the low teens. It's really going to fuck them. So, again, I can see Jerry and the old regime of owners saying, yeah, we've had enough. We're going to close our doors, and you guys can figure out how much you should be getting paid in this structure, because it's going to be structured. Speaking of Jerry, let's go over to the White Sox really quick.
You know what you got to do.
Yeah, here it comes. All right, I don't want to get clipped by you. What's up, Izzy? We're talking White Sox. 100 losses yesterday, and it should be 101 today. This is the 6th time in franchise history that the White Sox have lost 100 games. It's happened twice before in MLB in 1961 and 1932, and then 48 and then 61, and since then 4 times. The White Sox are setting records. They need to go 12-19 to not have the worst record ever, and I can't see them winning 12 games. It's 31 games after you can't win 12. No. I say they win 6. They go halfway.
You know what's funny? I'm laughing because Jason Bometti called the 100 game for Detroit, and it's like, dude, I'm so happy that you're calling across from us. Oh, that's awesome. And for them to get that last screw you guys is amazing.
Oh, I love Jesus Christ, Jason Bonetti. He was great for us. He was a little quirky, but so what? I'd rather listen to that than the Hawk talking about 1950 all over again. That doesn't connect with the fans, man. They weren't even, their fathers were probably not even alive at that point. He's talking about Carl Yastrzemski. The only reason the kid might know the name is because he got a baseball card. And he's like, oh my God, I got a Yastrzemski, and I'm going to sell it for
like, Mike? Mike is yeah.
Right. Wrong guy.
Right.
Yeah, the White Sox will have 101. Oh, Israel got the optimism right there. There we go. The White Sox are going to win 101 games. Yeah. I don't know what Israel's smoking, but I need some of that.
You got a big day tomorrow. You can't be doing that stuff.
Oh, no. Tomorrow. No. I got to be at work. Let's see.
But I noticed, man, I know this is off topic.
Oh, go ahead.
But, dude, this heat in Chicago is definitely giving you curls.
Dude, I'm wearing a bandana because my hair is just all over the place. And it's always keeping the sweat because it is hot in the studio. Definitely got to cool off. I'm taking a cold shower right after this show. Let's see. The White Sox got rid of Nick Senzo, who they picked up from the Mets. They already cut him. I don't even remember that guy even playing for us. They claimed Jacob Amaya from the Astros. Who cares? They made some moves. They brought up Brian Ramos, who actually was hitting in the minor leagues, take a spot. And Kai Bush was sent down, which is one of our prospects. So the only thing I got to say good about the White Sox is rookie Hagen Smith made his debut, 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 0 runs, no walks, 4 Ks, just like your Cam Smith, who's actually been killing it and been moving up. So there's some talent coming up in the horizon. How long will it take to get up here? Who knows? JC's chiming in.
Of course he is.
Yeah. He says, I didn't just leave Key West where I sweat through 2 shirts a day to come here and do the same. Yeah, JC just arrived today back. So definitely. I don't know what's going on with the White Sox.
I mean, I had a good time on Saturday. I went because of guarantee rate and sat in a suite and had some food, chicken tenders, great, not to complain there. Had some, had Italian beef. I thought I had food poisoning from beefs. Yeah. I could eat beefs now, so that's great. But mostly food and the vibes there. Oh, and it was Bears fake replica jerseys for the White Sox night. And I'm like, what am I going to do with this? Wash my car with it?
Wow.
Wow. I told my buddy that you guys know, I was like, I don't need this. What am I going to do with this?
You can like, yeah, I know somebody who's a Sox fan that needs some cheering up and some crappy gear.
I'll give it to you.
That's awesome. Hopefully it's not a medium because
no, it's an XL.
Beautiful. I'll squeeze into that.
So motivation.
Motivation to drop weight.
Yeah, but it was fine. I had a great time. Energy was there, and it was packed because it was Saturday. But a lot of kids. That's why I was like, man.
Yeah, kids bringing the giveaways are usually good. I would like to go to next Saturday's game because they're having a Frank Thomas Hall of Fame bobblehead giveaway. But I also have a fundraiser, a cigar social on that day. If you want to know more information about the cigar social, I'm going to post it on my social, and I'll post it on TCSF and 606 Media. We're fundraising for fallen soldiers and fallen firefighters, so we'll be doing that. Let's see what does Israel has to say today. Jerry is going back, going to break the bank in the offseason like he did back in 1980. I don't think he's ever broken the bank. He's going to sign a catcher like Carlton Fisk, Greg Lewinsky, Bill Alma. I don't know who we put there, and Tony, but I don't even know some of those players either.
He's like Jerry reminds me of Scrooge McDuck with all the money, and he dives in with all the gold. That's essentially what he reminds me of.
I cannot disagree there. Definitely cannot disagree. So if you're watching White Sox baseball, I'm probably just watching more of the pregame and the postgame to see when Ozzy's gonna get fed up with everything. Just because the new manager is changing things, but they have only won 3 games since he took over. So I don't think there's much change.
I think there's change with the attitude. I think that I think his energy, obviously he's here to do a job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's said and done about what this team's going to be. Mm-hmm. It's not his fault.
Nope.
So like he's kind of he's shooting from the hip, which is fine at this point. Go ahead. But like maybe you have this branch where you have some young guys that can connect to that energy, that message that he's delivering. Maybe it works for a time. Maybe he has a place here with this. I don't know if he's going to be the manager next year, but the way that they kind of like the Sox look better. I'll say this: they're not good, but they look better under him.
Yeah, Saturday's game was competitive. They got some runs in, but they let it go in, I think, the 8th and the 9th. So, yeah. But I mean, they were competitive with Detroit on Saturday. I'll give them that. They were scoring some runs. I think they were down by 2 or 1 before they let home runs like smacked around the whole time.
Well, there's no talent on the team, really, right?
It's still competitive, and Detroit's not great, but they're still kind of a okay.
You put the handcuffs on Crochet already, right? He doesn't want to know what's his pitch count at the game. It's literally he's pitching 3 to 4 innings. That's it. He's throwing 75 pitches or below. I don't understand this. I just don't. What is there? There's nothing to lose. You're not going to win any games next year. And if the kid said he's healthy, let him play. Let him play. I just don't get this baby and putting him in bubble wrap just like you did Moncada, who's supposed to be coming back this year. Why do we need him back? He's not going to produce anything. There's no purpose of having him on. The Orioles are already sick of Eloy. They're like, oh, he's just hitting ground balls. I'm like, yeah, we told you so. Thanks for the bag of chips. Literally, it's just the same story over and over and over with the White Sox. And it's got to come to a point where the White Sox fans need to stop going to the game. They need to stop watching these games. They've got to hit Jerry where it hurts, and it's in the pocket. Stop watching the games.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. Cubs are up 11-4. That's great. That's great. Hey, I'm cheering for. I hope the Cubs come in through the back door, figuratively and metaphorically. That's what happens over there. But I'm all cheering. Again, they're a Chicago team. I can't. My team sucks. That's why I'm a Dodger fan. All right, let's take a quick break, and then we'll get to the meat and potatoes, which is our Chicago Bears. So we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From T-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride. So do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
TrueFan15
for 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
Hey guys, it's Steven.
And this is Sean, and you are listening to True Chicago Sports Fans.
Don't forget to listen to Nowhere on the Weekend. New episodes on Monday. You can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yeah, so we're going to go do a couple of shots. So let's kick it back over to Big Z.
Thanks, Shawnee, baby. Welcome back to the TCSF podcast with Big Z in the house today. We got Stevie B from the No Water on the Weekend podcast, and we got Ivan the Bearable from TTNL. You can find him on TTNL talking Bears pretty much every day. Ivan's a diehard Bears fan, lives and dies, and it's a good time to be a Bears fan. But, we're going to focus this week on a Hard Knocks recap. What did we think of episode 3? I thought, personally, it was exactly what I needed to see, which was more in-depth behind the scenes with Caleb and the coach, more stories with the backup quarterback, the punter, all these different stories about football. Not the reality show Kardashians and what they're doing with their family life. Some people might like that. I know they're trying to go PG and not swear and all that stuff, but I need football content. So how did you guys feel about this last episode?
Go ahead, Ivan.
Well, I thought it was the best one so far.
Yeah.
Again, I had the problems I have with the show. It's not that it's like wholesome or whatever. It's that every other team gave an in-depth, they allowed it to happen. They allowed this. You know what I'm saying? They opened the door. Except for the Bears. The Bears have to be the one. The Bears have to be the Karen of the fucking league. You know what I'm saying? We can't have this. We can't have our name look so chill out. It's supposed to give. It's supposed to be open. It's supposed to be. You're supposed to be vulnerable. Not everything needs to be shown, but. Hey man, why isn't it like everybody else? Why are you specifically different? And why does I don't believe the producer, I forgot her name. I don't believe her when she says we did it out of respect for them. No, you did it because they weren't going to fucking allow you to do it.
Yeah.
That's why. You did it because they weren't going to allow you to do it. And they probably would have taken either they probably would have taken one of the other two spots. Well, actually, they couldn't take the in season because that's going to be the AFC North. But they could have taken the Giants spot. You know what I'm saying? I think that's was part of the deal for them because this just feels like totally Bears controlled. Other than that, like you said, the best episode of the series so far. I loved how they're showing this Caleb Flus relationship. I don't know how it's blossoming or if it not. I don't know, but I like seeing it. I also like seeing, like you said, more football content. As long as we see the football content, I think everybody will forget the swearing. Some people have already forgotten the swearing, but to me, it's when I hear Hard Knocks, I think of the Jets Hard Knocks. I think of the Ravens. I think of like there's so many good seasons that took place that it's just I feel like you took away from what something different. I'm not, maybe they don't swear a lot, maybe the team doesn't swear a lot. Who knows? But I just feel like with them coming out and saying all this, it's a little different.
Yeah. Steven, before I get into, go ahead.
Yeah. Pretty much piggybacking off of that, Ivan's comments. With DJ Moore going to the ice cream thing, I thought, again, kind of like just doing stuff with the family and stuff. And we want more meat and potatoes, right? More in-depth content and stuff like that. And I agree. It's not, sometimes it's like you want to fast forward a little bit. But again, yeah, I agree. They're showing personalities. It's spring training. It's training camp. Not much exciting, but you want to see more what's going on in the classroom. You want to see, the quarterbacks interact, even with the wide receivers. I'd like to see more Montez Sweat, honestly. I'd like to hear his story about being traded, and there was an article that came out about how his struggles in being a commander. It was toxic. His words, it was toxic, heavy trolling, just losing, and people around just being okay with losing. Like, now he hasn't been part of this struggle of us losing, but probably the atmosphere is a lot better than being in Washington. So I like to know the transition with him, how he felt, what the procedure was when he gets here, how his first game was in season and stuff like that. Cause he's a big deal in the defense, right? So, or one of the big deals in the defense. I kind of want to see more of the defense too. And I know we see some of it, but I like to see some more from the defense because it is so talented and there is a lot of great guys on that defense. So that's all.
I think real quick, just I could do without the singing. Like the first few episodes, all right, yeah, cool. Like the first episode, I'd have been like, all right, get everybody, let's see everybody sing. But now they're just kind of stretching it out to fill in space that would have been. You see what I'm saying? Like there's just like this control that
more appetizers than the actual entree. That's essentially what you're getting.
Exactly, Steven. Thank you. That's perfectly said. More appetizers than the entree. Where's the meat? Give me the steak.
Yeah, I don't want to fill up on bread and butter. Give me the main course.
They're giving you the Olive Garden version of Hard Knocks. Here's a bunch of bread and a bunch of salad. Here, fill up.
Well, I don't know what that says about me because there's an Olive Garden by me, half of chicken parm, and you get a giant salad and a drink. It's like maybe $16 and two breadsticks. I mean, yes, I get what you mean, but don't knock Olive Garden if you're in the burbs. If you live in the city, there's other Italian places you want to go to, but I agree with you. Yeah, I don't want bread. I don't want to fill up. It's just give us more content that we want. And it's like, that's all we ever want.
Yeah, that's
watching movies and Marvel. It's like we want what we want. That's it. So.
Yeah, I agree. You're looking at more inside the behind the scenes, which I did enjoy. Was the GM room, right? You got Eberflus was talking about in a press conference, and then they showed it on there because they asked Eberflus, was the deal going to get done? When we're talking about Matthew Judon, he kind of almost let it out the bag, and then you had our GM and our president, making that discussion. Is this guy going to be worth it? Is Matthew Judon going to be working? They're talking about, he's got a bicep injury, but he should help us. But this is our proposal to New England. And he ended up going to Atlanta because he wanted to get a big payday. And it's like, well, you're about 31, 32, injury prone. Do I want to tie up money that I can use effectively in other positions in the next couple of years to keep our well-rounded defense? Or do I want to put more money into one position and maybe it doesn't work out? So I think he made the right decision by not giving him the bag and being able to make trades down the line that we did, but we'll get into those in a second. But that's the content that I'm looking for. I'm Poles, Warren, the War Room, that discussion. You see like the whole, like the presentation, they had a pamphlet on there on the player and they're discussing back and forth. That's the stuff I want to see. I also want to see like the quarterbacks and Eberflus. You had Bajan next to him. He's like, hey, what do you see? Well, there's a cover one right here. This is the route that we should be running. This is that, and he breaks it down. Yes, that's exactly the stuff I want to see. I want to see how smart these guys are. And then when you see them translate that to the game when he's actually playing, Bajan looks a lot better. And you had, what is it, Matt? Who was it?
Ringer, Rippin.
No. We're talking about there was a bunch of cameos. Was it Matt? Ryan, yes.
Oh, yeah.
And he was watching film, and he's like, man, he looks really good compared to what he did last year. You mean Matt Ryan's watching Bears football?
I don't know. I kind of think that was put in by HBO. Kind of.
You really think so?
Well, remember, Poles and Matt Ryan were roommates at Boston College, so maybe he's watching them.
Oh, that's right.
Because you know what I'm saying. Maybe he's watching because these are friends
and getting a different perspective, different set of eyes. He's a quarterback. He can tell you maybe what is he doing right and wrong.
Was an MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's right. Lost, but
No.
shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but yeah, I agree. I agree with everything of what you said, Jose. But I'm excited to see tomorrow and see how that goes. And
Yeah, I'm excited about tomorrow.
Mhm.
You know what? Go ahead.
I wanted to just mention something that I absolutely cannot stand from the episode, and it was when they showed that stadium
I knew it.
rendition. When they showed that the one that we all saw, that we're like,
Yeah.
I don't know about this shit. Like, this looks a little far fetched.
Yeah.
When they did that, it was such an ambush because it was like, oh, and this is what the Bear Stadium would look like. But no, that's not. No, it's not. No, it's
No.
not. That's just somebody's, rendition of what they think something like that would look like. That's not the stadium. You introduced that to the fucking nation as like that was going to be the new Bear Stadium. What a fool! That's some first of all, I don't think you're going to get anywhere with that, right?
Nope.
I don't think you're going to get anywhere. You're only going to get embarrassed because it's probably not going to end up being there.
Yep.
Two, it's like they've already made a hard stance. The politicians have said no.
Yep.
A pretty hard no to doing this.
Scotty knew.
And then on top of that, when they go to the little meeting, when they're having a little meeting about the seats and shit,
That was the dumbest shit ever.
I don't give a fuck what Little Dirk thinks about the seats. She was like, oh yeah, we had a great meeting, sit down with Little Dirk about the seats. I was like, why are you sitting down with Little Dirk about the seating?
Yeah.
What? Like what is that? Like it reminded me of the Chappelle show. Remember the Chappelle skit where he's like, "Oh yeah, let's go get with Ja." Or it wasn't a skit. It was a stand up. It was his stand up. He was talking about, "Oh yeah, they're on CNN or wherever they were," and then all of a sudden, let's go get Ja Rule's thoughts about the war or some shit like that. It's like, why? Why do I want to get this guy's? I know. First of all, no. There's gonna be.
I would have us ask because we're the ones who are sitting in there.
Yeah, I'm like, why Lil Durk's gonna be in a box seat if anything. He's not gonna be sitting down with the fans. Are you serious? Like,
I bet you got to box the whole like a box if he wanted to for himself for probably the season. Probably.
I want to see why not. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of cameos that were just put in there just to put them in there. A lot of fluff was in this episode, even though it's kind of like they tried like, oh, we're gonna balance it off with this fluff, and here's a little bit of cool stuff that you guys kind of were asking for, and back to the fluff. And a little bit back. Oh no. Anywho, let's talk about our cuts. I know I had it on my phone. We posted on our page what the cuts were.
I'll let you look that up, but I want to say the gentleman who got injured on Thursday, he finally landed in Chicago. The injury, I can't remember his name. Ivan, you know his name?
Ian Wheeler?
Yes. So,
yeah,
he came back to Chicago today. He's going to have, some recovery and stuff like that, but he's doing well. That's what Eberflus said today or Friday on the Score. So, yeah, that's good news and good for him to be back on his feet, sort of, and, nothing major ending life.
Is it Ian? No, because Ian Wheeler's he's done for the year.
Yeah, Wheeler's done for the year with a torn ACL.
And so is Simba Webster.
I just know that he's back in Chicago and he's okay.
I didn't see the player, the person that got hurt, and they pulled out the cart for that. I did not see that, so I don't even know who that was.
You're talking about the he wasn't able to move for a minute, or it was that's good thing that he's okay because they didn't right. They cut everything, bro. There was not going to have that DeMar Hamlin again. Like, and that's to me, and like just going off a bit, like when they cut everything, and I mentioned, I was like, they will never have another DeMar Hamlin stop the game. The players, they'll never have it. They'll never do it again. And I think part of it was because of how much, the social media took, like when it happened to DeMar Hamlin. Everybody on social media is like, why isn't the game stopped? Like, you were getting pressure from everywhere, not just the players. Because if it was the players, the NFL would be like, no, get your players back out there. We got to play the game. We're going to figure out what's going on with him. Finish the game. I truthfully, like 100% believe the NFL, if they had no cameras out there and if they quickly cut from DeMar Hamlin, they still would have been playing that game.
Yeah. It's just sad. The Bears have waived the following players: Carter, offensive lineman Carter, Jerome Carvin, Michael Dumfour, Peter LeBlanc, Jalen Hutchins, John Jackson, Quindell Johnson, and Javion White. Any names that are surprising?
Nope.
Not at all. What's going on with our long snapper, Patrick Scales? He's been out several weeks out of practice, hasn't been playing. That can be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
We know how important a long snapper is, especially in a punt game. So Cameron Lyons is the guy that's going to step up. He's been playing in the game, so they might put Patrick Scales on the IR to start. He has a soft tissue injury, and I hate when they do that. Just like in hockey, it's an upper body injury. You really don't know what it is. Another issue is Larry Borum, right? What the hell's going on with Larry Borum? Another soft tissue injury. Hasn't played during the preseason, pretty much. Oh, he's the one that got carted off. Yeah, he's the one that got carted off.
Oh, Larry Borum. Yeah, Larry got carted off.
Yeah, Ivan.
No, I thought you were talking about the guy that from
Wheeler.
No, not Wheeler, because there
No,
was
I was
also
talking
an injury. There was an injured KC player. It was people were. Am I wrong? Am I not?
I thought it was a Bears player.
Wow. It's been a while. I think it was a Bears player, right?
Yeah. They cut it off, and then I was leaving the bar at that time because it was getting late.
Yeah, same here.
Huh.
It was a long game. There was a lot of whistles and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So the Bears are going to keep 9 offensive linemen on the initial 53: Braxton Jones, Tevin Jenkins, Coleman Shelton, Ryan Bates, Nate Davis, Darnell Wright, Matt Pryor, and Kirian Amagaje are locks. Those are guys that are going to be locked in. Bill Murray, not the comedian or actor, but the guard, seems to be able to make the roster, so that's good. Because Bates is still hurt. He's still dealing with an injury. There's a lot of uncertainty with our lines, and that's kind of the scary part right now. Which you're going to start Braxton Jones, Tevin Jenkins, Coleman Shelton, Nate Davis, and Darnell Wright. That's your starting line.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's a little frustrating because our GM was an offensive lineman, right? Eberflus is a guy for defense or even offense. This is why you're bringing in these guys for the staff, the new staffing people. And it's kind of like, okay, we need to address this first and foremost. But again, I get other pieces. This is why it's their job, not mine.
Yeah, it's hard to get offensive linemen. They're pricey. I mean, if you have a good offensive lineman, you're not letting them go. You're re-signing them way beforehand, so they don't hit the market. So it's hard to get offensive linemen, especially one that's really good at protecting your quarterback.
Right.
They mostly stay with one team, and if you're really good, they end up retiring.
I will say this before you could kind of tell if this offensive line does well and Caleb is that guy. Well, then it's going to be like, oh, we knew this all along. But if it starts getting sour and, Caleb's getting hit, you'll see more of it in the paper and articles like, hey, like this needs to be addressed. So there's going to be a way of spinning it depending on how they start and how it actually comes out in the first 3 games, I believe. I'm calling it first 3 games.
Yeah. You're looking at the acquired players that you're talking about is edge rusher Darrell Taylor and defensive tackle Chris Williams. Taylor includes, so Taylor's going to join Montez Sweat, DeMarcus Walker, and Austin Booker. And they're going to rotate these guys in, and whoever's hot, whoever's able to get the matchup, that's who's going to be rushing your quarterback. And I really think that's great that they kept a young kid who they traded for. And you saw that in Hard Knocks as well. They got their guy for a, fourth round pick, in the draft room. So again, I understand the defense is going to be set and they're going to be, they're going to unleash the dogs. But I really think that we need to address protecting this quarterback who, is your Ferrari. You really got to protect this quarterback. So, anything else on the defense before we switch over to our favorite topic of someone who should not be on the team? Exactly.
No.
Our favorite topic of a person that should not be on this team is Velus Jones.
Oh God.
This guy has been a hot dog vendor, a beer vendor. He sells cotton candy, these candy rope, running back, wide receiver, punt returner, kick returner. And I mean, I get it. You got speed. And this is probably because it's one of his original picks. He doesn't want to let it go. And that's something that Poles needs to address and let him go. Give him the frozen treatment.
Mm-hmm. I don't see him going, even though I'm on your side. I don't, and it's something that just, and yeah, he had a garbage time run last week against guys that won't be here, won't be in the league, or probably practice squad guys, third, fourth stringers. That's who Velus is. That's who he excels against. Like to me, they're gonna keep him because first Poles has this connection with him, and I truly believe, and they want to use his speed and his athletic ability. But I'm like, man, you switch him receiver to running back. He only's got one trick. When he goes in there, it's either going to him or it's not going to him. You know what I mean? So it's like, it just, to me, it is what it is. I think that because of Ian Wheeler going down, it's way easier to keep a guy like Velus Jones.
Yeah. So you're looking at your final roster projection. Obviously, Caleb is starting. Tyson's going to back him up. Practice squad, Rippon and Reed. I don't know if Rippon will stay in the practice squad. He might be picked up by a team. You're looking at Swift, Herbert, Johnson. Those are your three main running backs. Blasingame, Valence Jones, and Travis Homer. So 6 running backs. Do they usually keep 6 running backs? How do you? I don't understand that. I really don't understand keeping 6. I think 3 is enough.
Is Velus going to be on special teams? I mean, other than kick return, is he going to be a gunner? Is he going to be? You know what I'm saying? Like, where is he? I just don't know where he fits. Gadget.
Yeah, JC's chiming in. New NFL rule: you can carry 3 quarterbacks. I don't think they're going to carry 3 quarterbacks. I think they'll use a defensive player in that slot, or another offensive lineman.
You could carry 3 quarterbacks regardless.
Yeah,
I think it's regardless of they just won't be suited up. So you'll have a 53. You'll be able to have a 53 with 2, but then if you add, if God forbid those 2 go down, that guy can be activated like that, there and then. Yeah, boom. Now he's in the game. He could go suit up. If you have him sitting down, not dressed, he's not he's not playing. You know what I mean? So
it's an emergency slot.
It's an emergency slot, essentially. Yeah. So you don't have players that played quarterback in high school, that are playing running back or receiver or linebacker or whatever the fuck playing quarterback. So,
and that's the problem with the NFL is that they don't really develop quarterbacks now. It's like, you got drafted in the first round. All right, here's in the deep water. Here you go, kid. That's what they're doing. They're not really giving these kids the time to season and understand what a program is, and especially in the NFL, it's a lot different, a lot faster. It's hard. Why not increase the roster spots? Just increase it to 55, 57, and make it mandatory that you keep 3 quarterbacks. I don't know. I just don't understand why football does that. They should be able to, especially with it being a violent sport, you should be able to keep a little bit more players on there. Or like you said, here's your emergency roster. There's 5 players that are emergency roster for, whatever you want to put, offense, defense, offensive line, whatever. Again, wide receiver, we know who that room is going to be. It's Moore, Allen, Odunze, Tyler Scott, DeAndre Carter. You're going to put, is Pettis going to get cut? Is Colin Johnson going to go to the practice squad? That one's hard. because I did like Pettis.
I did like Johnson.
I think Johnson's a little young. I think you can stash him in the practice squad for a year until you decide what you're going to do. But I think Carter did well enough to get in there. But Pettis has been with us for a while, knows the offense, and has good relationship with the rest of the quarterbacks. And he's fast. I don't know. There's a lot of it's like polls told you at the beginning. There's gonna be limited amount of slots. It's gonna be very hard to make this team. So, tight end, we know who that is: Komet, Everett, Mercedes Lewis, and then practice squad. You put Bates in there. We talked about the offensive and defensive line already. At linebacker, T.J. Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds, Jack Sanborn, Noah Sewell. Hasn't he not played yet? Is that another issue, Ivan?
He's played. I mean, he got in last game. He hasn't really been active. I don't think he was active against Buffalo.
Yeah,
but I also haven't really seen him flash at all or
right.
anything like that. So it's Noah Sewell. I don't know what he is. Backup right now.
He's back up all the way in the back of the room. Yeah, I like Amen. I'm gonna say this wrong. Agbombinga. How do you say that? Did I say it right? Agbombinga.
I think so. I'm gonna fuck it up too. I think it's Ambaminga or
Ambaminga. Yes,
Ambaminga.
There you go. And then you're moving Michael Bakersville to the practice squad. I thought he did very well this preseason, but I don't think I think they're gonna put some of these young players on the practice squad until someone gets hurt. We know what the cornerback room is gonna look like: Jalen Johnson, Tyreek Stevenson, Kyler Gordon, Terrell Smith, Josh Blackwell, and Jalen Jones. Stroman and Stewart going to the practice squad, and then safety Byard, Brisker, Owens, and Hicks. That's your team right there, man. That is your starting 53. We're still concerned about the offensive line. We're still concerned about some players who have soft tissue injuries. Do you think this team is ready to start on week 1?
We'll see.
Again, me being positive, I think we'll be okay. I'm going to go and say we'll be fine. Everything's going to be okay. I think I'm okay, So just positivity, because I need something else to distract me right now. And I need to watch more hockey and updates because I've been not paying attention to that.
Yeah, you are the hockey guy.
So, yeah. So,
yeah, definitely. So September 8th, we open against the Titans at noon. I know we got a whole week without any football, but it is 2 weeks from now, and everyone in the city is definitely excited. So, Israel, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for chiming in as usual. But I'm excited about the Bears season. I know Ivan's excited about the Bears season. Catch all of his content on TTNL. And we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back with what you watching that isn't sports. So stay tuned and don't go anywhere.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride. So do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15. TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
What up? It's Martin Moreno, and you are listening to True Chicago Sports Fans Podcast.
Thanks, Martin. Welcome back to the TCSF podcast with Big Z in the house. We got Stevie B and we got Ivan, who should be back shortly. And, it is one of our favorite segments in our show, and it's time to talk about what you watching that isn't sports. I'll let Stevie B start us off with what you're watching.
All right. So I finally watched Twisters.
Okay. All right. How was it? What's the review on that one?
And CGI for Twisters, like definitely better than when it came out in the 90s. It was a good movie. Of course, tornadoes like every 10 minutes there's a storm. But the action was really good. The rain. The whole time I'm thinking, man, the production for this team has to clean all this up. Like, are you kidding me? It's a giant mess. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. They leave it open to another one. Yeah. And I think right now you're seeing a lot of movies that have an IP because you don't see any creative movies coming out of nowhere. It's if they have an IP, you got something, and that's pretty much it. And I did stop. I don't know if you listen to No Water, but I went to a comic book store. What if Donald Duck was Wolverine? So I got this one, and they're all issue number ones. And then there's this one.
I mean, I wouldn't open them.
He's got marshmallows in his hooks.
I would not even open that. I would keep that sealed and get it graded.
So yeah, they're number ones. And then I picked up the one I really wanted, Spider-Man Black Suit and Blood with Mary Jane. And then the number one for Spider-Man Venom Wars.
Again, because everything's so like right now, like baseball cards are hot, comic books are hot.
Yeah.
I would get 2 copies of each, one to read and mess up, and one to get sealed and certified because you don't know if it's gonna blow up and it'll be worth any money.
Right. So, but that Spider-Man Black Suit and Blood, there's 4 copies. And the way I found out is the fact that every comic book store that's in the city might have a different cover because it's how the fans of that bookstore want, what they want. So the one on Western, Challenger Comics, they had just this cover, and it was the last one too. And I was like, yes, I got it.
Okay.
I know there's one in Mount Prospect. I didn't go today. Didn't have time to go and stop by, but I'll probably check it out tomorrow. See if I get that number 1 issue. And then there's 2 more. I would have to call other places to see, but at that comic book store, it's great because you can have a subscription and they'll hold it for you if that's what you want, and that's amazing. So I don't have to take the day off and rush to the store or go on my break and stuff like that. So I thought that was really cool. So that's what I've been doing. But Twisters was great. I'd say 7 or 8 out of 10, just because it's that summer big blockbuster kind of fun, kind of action packed and weather.
So was that in regular, or did you go IMAX?
No, I sat my ass on the couch and got it off Amazon Prime for $20.
Okay, all right.
But they're re-releasing The Batman on Thursday with the bucket that actually lights up the bat signal.
Okay, we'll talk off air about that.
But go get that. Don't get that bucket because I want to get one. I'm saying to the people out there, not you. But yeah, I need to get it.
Yeah, this is the nerd part of the show where we're just gonna nerd out over different things.
Yeah, pretty much. Definitely.
Ivan, what have you been watching and doing, man? Ivan, you're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, I don't think I haven't caught anything. It's been a ramp up with football, and it's pretty much been football. That's what I've been watching.
Football. That's all right, man. Is there anything that you are excited to see at the theater coming up or no?
Did you see Wolverine and Deadpool or anything?
Oh, well, actually, I would love to see that. I would love to see Wolverine and Deadpool. I haven't seen it yet, so.
Yeah, definitely a movie you should watch. Yeah, it's very funny. Lots of cameos, and
just like the Bears.
Yeah, just like the Bears.
Just like the Bears.
Oh yeah. As for me, I wanted to see Twister, but I don't know where there's a 4DX theater.
Yeah, I looked. I don't know where there's any either.
If we have one in the city or in the state, but that would be the movie to watch in 4DX, where it gives you everything that you want. The seats rumble, you get the wind, you get the sound, you get mist and all that stuff. I thought that would have been great for that, and that's a cash cow for Twister. Come on.
Oh yeah, you get a drink.
Twister, Jurassic Park, those movies should be in 4DX mandatory. That's what you should be doing. But I have been rewatching The Wire. I'm on season 2. I'm midway through it. I don't remember watching it when it first came out, so a lot of the stuff is new to me. Season 2 is a little slow and dumb, but I'm getting through it. There's a lot of actors in this show that I didn't even realize they were in there. Lots of big names. So I'm not going to go through it, but The Wire is definitely a show that was rated very highly. So I was like, let me watch it because I've watched everything else on the internet that I can watch. So that's what I have been watching. I think Steven, is there a good blockbuster movie coming out pretty soon?
I don't think so. To be honest, I think all the summer blockbusters are over with.
I think The Crow comes out pretty soon, which
that got bad reviews.
Yeah,
I've seen that. I've seen the reviews. I wouldn't even waste my time.
He sounds like Mike Tyson. I want a favor for my life. Yeah, he literally sounds.
Oh my god!
I want to trade my life for hers. Like literally like that. And I'm just like, what the heck? He sounds. He can't talk. It's like his voice. He has a great voice because he's played Pennywise.
Yes,
but I'll save my life for her. Like what? And then you got take what you want from me, take what you want and go. And it's like, and then you hear his voice and it's like, okay, it goes hard, and then it's like go soft.
How your life, Steven?
I got nothing to say to that. That was pretty good.
He's serving up softballs, Steven.
Yeah, he always serves up one.
God.
The one thing I am actually excited is to see the series The Penguin, which is part of the Batman world with Colin Farrell. He plays the Penguin, so it continues exactly where the movie left off, and I think that premieres in about a week or two. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, if you go see the Batman re-release, they'll share the trailer or maybe a small clip of the episode, kind of. So yeah, that's exciting, and I'm excited. And it takes place a week after the Batman, and then it leads into at the end of the Penguin, Batman 2. So
sounds amazing. All right, boys. I think it's that time to cut it. I know we all have stuff to do and get some sleep, shower. Probably your fourth shower today because it's been 98 degrees today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
AC's working on overtime.
Boys, make sure you powder them.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about? Powder them. Yeah.
So, half the bottle. Today was a half bottle day. All right. Today was a half bottle day.
It was just soaking it up. Oh my God.
Don't leave any soda cans in your car because they will explode.
Yeah.
And the top part will look like if you just cut it with a can opener.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Learned that mistake last week. So,
Yes, soda cans or any aerosol cans, all that stuff will pop for the pressure. So, all right, boys. Thank you for coming on and sharing all your content. Stevie B, show, tell them where they can find you and your show.
Yeah, TikTok is No Water on the Weekend. It's spelled how it sounds. And anywhere you listen to podcasts, that'd be great. So anywhere, pretty much, we're there.
Ivan, go ahead.
Yeah. TTNL, Tape Never Lies. You can go ahead and check me out right here on 606 Media. And there will be an episode tomorrow. It'll be before Hard Knocks.
Okay.
And then obviously I'll have another Bear show. So I'll have local sports tonight on. We'll be talking local sports. Be talking, a little bit, same thing here, a little bit Hard Knocks and stuff like that. I'll reiterate some things, but it'll lead up into Hard Knocks, and then after Hard Knocks, I'll be going live on TTNL doing the after show. Jose, I know you should be there. Right?
I'm confirmed.
So me and Jose will be doing the after show on TTNL. So check that out as well.
Amazing. All right, everyone. Thank you, our listeners, our viewers. Thank you for sticking with us and supporting us through 209 episodes. Thank you to our sponsor, 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, and Grit Clothing Company. You know where to get your shirts and your discount. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on Facebook, IG, Spotify, all of that. If you have content to share with us, topics to share with us, hit us up at True Chicago Sports Fans at gmail.com. All right, for Ivan and Stevie B, I am Big Z, and we'll see you next time for episode 210. And until then, be good to each other for the love of sports.